It's time for some Crusader football, and want to welcome you here on the campus of North Greenville University, where Christ makes a difference, for the Coach Farrnington Show. Coach Farrnington, good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
I think we have another big win to talk about. And you told me earlier this morning they're all big wins.
They're all big wins. Every win's huge.
I think we got some interesting storylines this week. One of those I'd like to start with is Tristan Jackson. What do you want to tell me about this young man? Because he did wonderful on Saturday night.
Tristan had a really good game for us. He got his first start. Tristan's a freshman from Jefferson High School in Jefferson, Georgia, right down the road across the line. He's our third-team tailback, and well, actually, going in, he was our fourth team, and Simeon Bird has not been able to come back at this point from cramping up in preseason camp. He's been out. Trey Walker has an ankle issue, and Ashton Hurd has a leg issue and a shoulder issue from the Tusculum game. He played a little beat up in the Tusculum game, and Tristan spot played as a backup and did a really good job in the Tusculum game, but really came on, carried the ball, had I think almost 185 yards rushing, scored a couple times, and protected the ball, did a great job in pass protection, had a couple of knockdowns as well. So we've really been pleased with his progress. He's got the ability to break tackles, a little bit thicker back, shows patience in the hole, and so really had a good game. Like to see him continue along that path.
Yes, sir. He did such a good job that the NCCAA made him the Offensive Player of the Week. So I just think that's a great thing for a freshman to come in when we need him and produce, and that's always good to have that in the stable of backs, you know? No
question.
I think for the first time all season, and you may correct me if I'm wrong, we had really good balance. I felt like, we ran the ball and we passed the ball. It wasn't like we had 300 yards passing and then we had 50 yards rushing. We were, 200 and something yards, 42 yards throwing the ball, but we had 180 yards rushing the ball. I thought we had really good balance for this game.
We did, and we knew we were going to have to be efficient. I told the offensive staff, and they do a great job with our kids and preparing them each week, and our football team, that offensively we were very efficient. We only had the ball 22, 23 minutes, which we need to have more possession time, but we need to get off the field defensively. But defending Brevard, that's what they do, is they eat the clock and they take you 3 yards down, 4 yards. Every now and then they'll bust one for 10 or 12 or 15, and so you're standing over there drinking Gatorade on offense while they're kind of eating up the clock. The clock's running. They don't throw it. The clock's not going to stop. So we were very efficient. Where we put points on the board, there was a couple times we'd like to have touchdowns and we had to kick field goals, but the outcome, we stayed the course. We didn't get frustrated. We didn't panic on the number of possessions that we had. I think we only had 10 possessions and we scored 7 of them, so that was huge.
Yeah, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Jordan Ollis, a big 245-pound back for them. He set a school record of 338 rushing attempts. He was getting 6 yards attempts. He got 228 yards. I'm going to make some classic references. When Ali fought Foreman, he had the rope-a-dope, and I felt like we were on the ropes and trying to stop Ollis every time we knew he was getting the ball. I mean, really any secrets. I mean, this big back is coming. I'm sitting there thinking, come on, somebody hit him, and we were hitting him. And, we played good defense all night. When you have a back like that, you're not going to stop him. You just hope to contain him. The crowd you could just hear the crowd, come on, hit him. And we were hitting him, but when you have a great back, you just hope to contain him. I think our defense, we did the rope-a-dope. We were there. And I think one of the most important stats of the game, I just had it down here, fourth quarter, 7:35 on the clock, and Keith Jackson would say, and there's a fumble, and it was big. North Greenville football, and it's great. It's great to have that. Everybody's cheering. I'm cheering, screaming at the TV because I have my computer hooked up to the TV, and it was great to see our defense. And the second biggest one was 5:27 to go, and I think this sealed the deal. There's another fumble, and it is, we get the ball again because I think they were marching. They were trying to end the game is what they were trying to do, not give the ball back to our Nelson Hughes and our offense. They didn't want us to get the ball back. But one more fight reference is when Frazier fought Foreman. And that second, in my mind, it just popped out. When I saw that second fumble, I thought, down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. We got him, We got him right there. And I said, man, go defense. Our defense didn't give up. When we talked about winning the turnover battle last week, and we won that turnover battle. We got 3 key turnovers, and the interception at the end of the game sealed the game. So I just hats off to our defense for bending, but at the end, bowing their necks and getting those turnovers when we needed it.
Well, first you mentioned the Alice young man, and he's a fantastic player, and all the credit to him and Coach Hamilton, and they do a great job at Brevard. And we knew coming into the game, like every week with these opponents, that it's going to be a dogfight. They're good football players, they're good teams, they're well coached. They know what they want to do. You run a lot of young players out on defense, and it's just you got to grow, you got to get experience, you got to get stronger, and it's a different offense each week. You got to adapt and adjust, and they know what they do, and they know how to do it and do it well. And we talked about last week how well they execute. And we knew the fullback was going to get the ball up. We wanted to be aggressive on the perimeter, take away some things, and force them to do some things. And they got some movement on us at some key spots, and we limited them to a few plays, but those few plays, they just kept getting 3, 4, and then every now and then he'd rip one for about 10 or 15, and we kept hitting him. But 38 carries is a lot of carries in the game. I know the young man was upset with the 2 turnovers at the end. He actually turned it over 3, and we got 2 of them. We popped it loose another time, and he fell on it on a 4th down play we were close to stopping them, but they actually got enough to get the 1st down. So we knew that, and we'd like to have maybe a little something else to go to maybe give us a chance to stop it, but we didn't have that in the game plan or couldn't come up with it. So, but our credit goes to our kids hanging in there. We felt like we kept trying to keep them up. Don't give in. Keep fighting. You're going to get the stops. Stay the course. And really, credit also goes to Coach Bernardi and Coach Dukes and those guys up in the strength training and the weight room, where 4th quarter, we did not respond last year down the stretch in the 4th quarter for whatever reason. And so that's been a big emphasis for us in the off season to be able to do that. And man, it was great to see. Yeah. Number 1, us come up with the plays in the 4th quarter. Number 2, to have a game where we finally win the turnover ratio, and we got 3 there at the end. We didn't turn it over on offense, so those ended up being huge factors in the ball game.
I think it was a great thing, because I believe that football, among other things, is a game of heart. It's not the size of the dog; it's the size of fighting the dog. And right. I feel like our defense really showed a lot of heart, and really I think that carried over to the offense for our guys. Hats off to the offense to turn around and turn those turnovers into points. That was big for us. So I think it was an overall game. Anything else you want to highlight?
Well, when you do that, and that's always because a lot of times in ball games you might be clicking on offense or you might be clicking on defense and you're sputtering on offense, but when it goes together and you're able to execute on special teams, or you're able to get both sides of the ball in all phases at the same time, man, that's a pretty sight to see.
I just think it's a game that we could have easily given up, but we fought back and we able to come out with a victory. And that's 2 weekends in a row that it's down to the last 5 minutes of the game for us to pull it out. And it just shows, I think, that you guys do a good job. Our coaches are preparing our kids well, and that y'all are encouraging them and just teaching them. That's one thing I love about football. Football is all about intestinal fortitude. It's about when the chips are down, you get knocked down, you get up, you keep going. Those those are important life lessons, because everything in life is not always going to go well. And that what they showed in that field on Saturday night is going to not only help us win football games, but it's going to help them later on in life.
Well, what you're trying to do is you're trying to do that day in and day out, and and that is what we're here to do is teach life lessons, and we wear that on our shirt as far as Christ makes a difference, and we have that on the field, and we try to emulate Christ in everything that we do, and fall short every day. And the players and students are our mission field as staff and coaches and faculty here at the university. So we're trying to constantly show them and teach them and guide them, and they're not going to be perfect, and we're not perfect, and so we're trying to move forward, make progress in those areas every day, and we're trying to take the things that we learn from out there on the field in that game and also in the practices this week, and move forward with it in all areas, in the classroom and how we handle ourselves in different relationships and out in the community and on campus. So, yeah, it's just a reflection of who we are and where we're trying to get to and what's inside of us.
Yeah. I just had a big smile on my face after that game, and I was sure a lot of Crusader fans did. Hats off to the fans being there. They were right there to the fourth quarter, and we got a big game coming up this next week. We're going to be playing Limestone Saints. They're an upstart football team. They start a lot of freshmen. Anything you want to tell us about that 1 o'clock game coming up on Saturday?
Well, we've had 4 night games, and the crowd was great, by the way. We get great support here, and we've had 4 night games, 2 of them at home. We're glad to move into a daytime kickoff, you might say. But it is a 1 o'clock game, so we want all of our fans and support to understand we'll be kicking it off at 1 o'clock. Yeah, so it'll seem like you wake up and eat a bowl of Fruit Loops and come out to the stadium here and see us play.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
Limestone's got a young team. They know what they're doing. They're very well coached. You can see that on their execution. Defensively and offensively, they're freshmen, and they've had a year to practice, and they've got a lot of athletes, a lot of very good players, some guys that we recruited. A lot of them are from the state of South Carolina, and you'll see a very, they got explosive athletes. They got some running backs that do a really good job, and good-looking players at receiver and quarterback and offensive line. Defensively, they bring blitzes from all over the place. So, it's each week is week to week. What happened out there Saturday night will have no bearing on this game here. It starts all over, and that's a great thing in athletics. You can talk about these sheets of paper and these stat sheets and all that, but when it comes down to it, we do not take the stat sheet and spread it out on that game field and play on it.
Yeah.
We play on the white stripes. Yeah. And you got 4 quarters, and it's kicked off, and we each get an opportunity as the game goes with possession of the ball to see what we do with it. So,
well, I'm looking forward to an exciting game against the Limestone Saints, and Coach does a great job this past week, and looking forward to a great performance on Saturday. Thank y'all for joining us for the Coach Farrnington Show on the campus of North Greenville University, where Christ makes a difference.
Now, right, what's up? To keep and carry it, you've got to water it. To keep and carry it, you've got to water it. Look, she ain't never seen God in the beating, only seen God in the